What's up, MASL Nation? It's Matt Huber from the Turf and Boards. I am back. It's been a while since I did an episode of In the Box. Had a bunch of stuff going on. Just celebrated my 40th birthday. We're going to get into that tomorrow on tomorrow's episode about the 40th birthday. What I did and my thoughts on that. But for today, we're going to do the Pacific Division, the former Pacific Division of the MASL. So we've got 4 teams. I'm going to take a look at the schedule, tell you what I think. We've got a game to watch. I think I might have one team with 2 games to watch. I don't remember. But a tough stretch and an easy stretch. So without further ado, 4 topics, 2 minutes each. Let's get going. So let's start out with the San Diego Sockers. Now, the San Diego Sockers last year, we all know, had that one loss in the regular season. Unfortunately, didn't win the title, but they're back this year. Their schedule is brutal, in my opinion. But from what I've been told, that's what Coach Phil Salvaggio wanted. He wanted to be tested. He wanted the team to be tested, and this schedule right here pretty much does that. So the game to watch, it's going to go back to the 80s, the 90s. I might have mentioned this when I mentioned Baltimore's schedule, but we're going to go January 25th at the CQ Arena. Baltimore hosting San Diego. That's going to be one heck of a game. Now, granted, it's going to be on a smaller turf, so it won't be just like the good old days. But nevertheless, it's a rivalry renewed. So an easy stretch for the Sockers. It looks like end of December looks pretty good for San Diego. You've got Turlock in Turlock on the 20th of December, and then Tacoma. And then the next week, Solis de Sonora at home at Pechanga Arena in San Diego. So I think those 3 games with 1 week apart from the Tacoma Solis games, I think that's pretty good. The tough stretch, in my opinion, is going to be, it looks like they're going on the road to Florida, February 6th and the 8th. And I think they were there a couple years ago. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they were. And then they're going to be back home to face the Baltimore Blast again. So that's quite the stretch there in 6 days. That's in 6 days, mind you. So that's San Diego. Next up, Ontario. Looks like they've improved a little bit, and we're going to get into team discussions once I'm done with the schedules and once teams get solidified, and then I'll go more in depth on the players themselves. But Ontario looks pretty good on paper this season. So I have 2. This is the team that I had 2 games to watch. The first one is right out the gate, San Diego versus Ontario in San Diego. That, to start off the season, that is going to be one heck of a game. Friday, December 13th. So it'll be a few weeks into the season. The season does start November 22nd, I do believe. So about 2 weeks into the season, we'll get this game. The second one I have is the Tayu brothers coming back to Monterey to face their old team, the Flash. That's also going to be a pretty good game. I know Monterey's lost a couple of players to other teams. We'll get into that tomorrow. But nevertheless, it's still a good game. Which leads me into their tough stretch. The tough stretch is in 11 days, they play San Diego, Solis de Sonora on the road, Monterey on the road, and then Monterey at home. So that's within 11 days. So that they're going to be tired towards the end. Luckily, that last game is at home, which is good. But still, that could be like a 2-2, 1-3 maybe record for that. And the easy stretch I have it sounds weird to have a 3-game road trip being easy, but when you play St. Louis, Kansas City, and Turlock, chances are with that team, I could see them going 3-0, definitely. But we shall see. The next one up, Tacoma Stars. Before the schedule came out, I thought Utica would be going to Tacoma, and I was kind of looking at trips out there, but unfortunately that's not to be. They ended up going to Solis. So here's your schedule, Stars fans. The game to watch. Danny Waltman coming back to Kansas City to face his old team. December 28th. Tacoma versus Kansas City at Silverstein Ice Centers Arena. Like I said, I mean, homecomings. Danny Waltman played for Kansas City for quite some time. It'll be good to see him back in Kansas City. Tough stretch. It looks like the tough stretch is March 7th through the 15th. You pretty much play Ontario and San Diego those 4 games, and it looks like 3 out of the 4 are on the road, and they're within 8 days of each other. Good luck. I mean, it's going to be towards playoff time. Tacoma's going to be in that mix for the 3rd, 4th seed, possibly, in the playoffs. So every game is crucial. Unfortunately, those 4 games may make or break Tacoma's playoff hopes. Easy stretch is going to be end of January, early February. Looks like we've got Harrisburg and Turlock coming into Kent for a couple of games. And then Dallas and Mesquite on the road. Yeah, they're back-to-back games, but Dallas, Mesquite, I'm not exactly sure. If you told me they would go 3-1 in that stretch, I would pretty much agree with you. Can they go 4-0? Of course they can, but they have a back-to-back games the 15th and the 16th. And finally, the Turlock Express. Whoops. Video malfunction. Okay. So the Turlock Express, as soon as I say Turlock Express, the camera falls. Yeah. This is going to be an interesting season for Turlock. So the game to watch, I have January 3rd in Solis when they travel to Solis de Sonora. It'll be on the smaller field. Turlock is used to the smaller field. It'll be a high-scoring affair. And I think all games at Solis will be high-scoring. Quote me on that. Easy stretch, if you can consider an easy stretch for Turlock, will be at the very, very end of the season. They do have back-to-back games in back-to-back weeks. Ontario and actually no, this is the tough stretch. I'm sorry, it's the tough stretch. It looks like the 13th and 14th. It is a home and home with Ontario, and then they travel out east to face Orlando and Florida. Florida probably going to be slowing down for the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, they'll be slowing down at that point, resting players and whatnot. And then I think a few home games, it looks like 3 home games in 3 weeks is the easy stretch. Now, granted, 2 of them will be against Ontario, but it is possible Turlock can beat Ontario. Turlock can beat Ontario at home. They've come pretty close in seasons past. And then they have Dallas thrown in the middle. So on the 14th, 21st, and 28th of February, 3 home games in 3 weeks for Turlock. That's a lot of rest. So they can pull out a victory there. Whether or not it'll happen, who knows? So, there you have it. 4 teams. And it's about a 10-minute video, so I maybe did 2.5 minutes for each team. But tomorrow, I am going to be doing a morning episode of In the Box, where we'll talk about recent signings in Florida and other stuff. I haven't decided yet. It'll be a surprise. But like, comment. If you have any topics you want me to talk about, leave them down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for your support. It means a lot to me. And we'll do this again in about 12 hours. So we'll talk to you soon.